You see, there's been a big misconception in the world of hypnosis. Hypnosis is a natural state. It's something we go in and out of all the time. But we can use that state to affect our own behaviors. So this is a do with. I'm gonna work with your unconscious mind. I'm gonna work with this 88. You're gonna work with the 12, right? Because together, when we work together, we can bring 100% of the mind together. That's the power of your own mind.
So I just attended Talib's group hypnosis, Beyond the Mind, and it was amazing. And the fact that I feel so refreshed and so energetic afterwards is amazing. It's a wonderful feeling. This was a bonus. So for the last couple days, I had been experiencing a pain behind my face. On a scale from 1 to 10, not even a 1, more like a dull ache. And while we were going through the process, I was able to let that go, and I was actually able to pinpoint the root of that disease during the meditation process and during the visualization. And since we've been done, I haven't felt that pain, that dull ache behind my face that I had been feeling like for the last few days. If you're in the Las Vegas area, come and give this a try. It's a wonderful experience, and I'm sure that you'll get some great benefit from coming to do this.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to There's Only Now. I am your host, Talib, where I am only here to remind you. I want to start the show by saying that, this is the first show back after a little bit, and there's been some very transformative things that occurred, and we'll get into some of those things today. But most importantly, I just want to say to everyone out there, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining us. I'm looking at my camera, so if you see me adjust, it's because for some reason it's getting super dark because my background isn't, it's too bright in the way the computer or the camera for this is working. So throwing it off. But I think we got it adjusted. So as I was saying, right, I want to welcome you to the show. Happy Friday, right? Please leave in the chat how your week went. Was it transformative? Was it challenging? Did you accomplish something you wanted to accomplish? Or did you become aware of more things that you may now know you need to accomplish that wasn't there the previous week, So I'd love to hear from you. Also, we will open up the lines for anybody who'd like to come up, share their thoughts. And also, if you would like to have an experience with me on the show, you're more than welcome to come up and I can give you a little demonstration of the power of your own mind. So what I would like to talk about today is something that I've been researching and studying and doing a lot of case histories and case conferences. And I realized something with a lot of the cases that I'm watching. And these are some old cases, guys. These are cases from the 80s and so forth, right? I noticed that people, and it's very similar for what's happening today, these people that were really suffering in their lives, meaning they couldn't get things going, they had a hard time getting their life together, it seemed like every time something happened, it just threw them completely off course. And they all had something in common: hypersuggestibility. And when I realized that, it was something that I also suffer from, and I believe a lot of people suffer from currently. Hypersuggestibility is just another way of saying hypnosis, to being in a state to where when suggestions come in, they actually can take hold in you and cause you to act on them. right? And hypersuggestibility is caused by an overload of message units. Just a fancy way of saying your mind can only take in so much information before it goes, oh, we can't filter it anymore, right? We can't discern the information anymore. And so now information gets to come in and the mind can more easily accept it. And so in doing so, it means that you're susceptible to the world around you, very susceptible to the world around you. It may be your friends, your family, negative people, news, all these various things. You'll find that they bring you to a state of anxiety, high emotion. You know, it starts affecting your life because you start seeing these things you are hearing and you start noticing them in your world. And the moment that happens, that connection begins to happen and the filter starts going, well, now it's because you're your reality, right? And it made me wonder, like, wow. I watched the case, and there was a particular client who was in depression and not knowing what was going on. And when they did the questioning and got deeper into it, they discovered that she had these Christmas lights, and they were still up in her house, and they were on. And every time she'd go past those, the Christmas lights was literally overloading her mind, sending her into hypersuggestibility. And the first thing that was around her was the situation she was coming in about. And that's what she absorbed. That's what she became. That's what she acted out. So I'm wondering how many of the people in the audience are under hypersuggestibility. And do you find yourself waking up in the morning and already overloaded? Do you find yourself unable to tolerate too many things happening, too much what you might call frustration? Where's your threshold and your patience at? Is it low? You know, how many hours a day do you lose to doom scrolling? If you answer these questions and any of these questions are yes, or I do this or do that, then these are clear signs of hypersuggestibility. So one thing you could do with this is, you'll find it funny, is sometimes you could just count yourself out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake. Wake yourself up. And notice how you feel. Notice if the feeling has shifted. Has it changed? Have it disassociated from you and what you think is happening? And for a moment, you're just able to see what you're feeling without responding to it. Right? These are some things you can do about hypersuggestibility. But it's a state of hypnosis, which means most people need to be dehypnotized. You're already hypnotized to some suggestion you've been given already. I only wonder what the suggestion is that you've been given, because you've been given a suggestion. Right? And another thing that really falls into that is our life script, right? And we can become suggestible, we're all highly suggestible to our own life scripts. And life scripts are very interesting when you look at it, because see, you develop your life script between the ages of 9 and 15. And your life script is the story of what you think you can have, what you can't have, what you deserve and don't deserve, how good of a person and bad of a person you believe you are, where you think you'll be able to get in life, what you think about money, how money comes to you or doesn't come to you, about relationships and if they're good or bad. And once you develop this life script, the next step is that you take it into adulthood and play it out. That's where you play it out, is in your adulthood. Right? And a lot of us have adapted a life script because if you've come from a traumatic background, or you've come from a background where parts of yourself had to be suppressed because you had to live within your family system, then it's a great chance that you have adapted or wrote a life script for yourself during those ages where you didn't see yourself making it or see the success that you truly want. Right? And now when you try to get past it or move beyond it, what happens is it's your homeostasis now. It's your mind pushes back against it. It says, no, this is no good for us. And you break your leg or get a ticket, or go to jail, or catch us in the middle of cheating. Many things will happen depending on you and your life script that's going to send you right back to that place that keeps you within the story of you, of where you think you are allowed to go and what you're allowed to be. Right? And when we're under hypersuggestibility and we're playing out a life script that says the world is unfair, then the world is unfair. And this is not to deny the unfairness of the world or anything going on in it. Everything I speak about is from the individual standpoint. See, until you address you, there is no we. Until you address you, there is no we. Right? You have to first deal with the self, the different aspects of yourself that you have hidden, denied, or even in some instances may be repressed or suppressed to a degree. Right? It really doesn't matter about what you go out into the world and try to do if you have a life script that says you can't do it. Now, I've spoken on this show before how hypnosis is used by all your favorite marketers, your favorite politicians, your favorite movies and TV shows and musicians. They all use this, but they use it to exploit. In some instances, it's exploitation. In other instances, they use it because they know it's going to create the success that they're looking for themselves. But they never teach you how to use it. Now, I'm going to tell you another little thing I learned about hypersuggestibility that a lot of people in the conscious community, spiritual community, meditation is just self-hypnosis. If you're doing guided meditation, this means you're not doing it. Someone is speaking to you and you're allowing yourself to accept what they're saying to you. But in turns, this is still hypnosis. Now, the reason I bring this up, because in the spiritual community, they don't talk about this. And for all my people out here who might meditate and been wondering why, since you've been meditating, you're not seeing a better life. Why is it? Okay, I more understand it, but why do the same things keep happening? Why do things seem to get worse? Why can't I seem to change this or that? I meditate, and I seem to be more frustrated. Right? And I'm going to tell you why that is. Because when you meditate and take yourself down, picture a road, a path, a sunlight, a beach. Take yourself down and put yourself into a state of hypnosis where you use images and kinesthetics to bring in a sensation and an experience that the mind can believe is happening. And then what? What do you do after it? I'll tell you. Okay, guys, now, all right, you can go ahead and take a deep breath and just come back in the room and open your eyes. You're good, everybody. Just stretch a little bit and take a deep breath in. We're good. Good meditation, everybody. No, you're still in hypnosis. You must bring yourself out of hypnosis at the end of meditation. You must give yourself suggestions like, I'm going to count up from 0 to 5 and 0 is the deep sleep, or 0 is the depth of my mind power, or wherever you choose in that moment. But 0 is always that deep, relaxed state that you're in. So let's close the door to the subconscious mind. Let's block all negativity. Let's lock in the positive. Bringing back with us a sense of accomplishment, confidence, self-love, and understanding. And with each count up, you'll come back more and more. And at 5, you'll be wide awake and alert, refreshed and rejuvenated, with a sense that you have what you desire. 1, coming back in the room. 2, starting to feel your feet. 3, become more aware, hearing sounds, feeling yourself. You may feel your eyes blinking. 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake. If you are doing something at the end of your meditation to close the door to the subconscious mind, you just did all that and left the front door open and then walked out into a bunch of subliminal advertisement and suggestions and people that are giving you their ideal and interpretation of a world which you accept as a suggestion. So an irritable person says something to you, you sense it, and now you take on the suggestion of irritability. Now you're irritable. This is why so many people who do spiritual practices with meditations have such problems. Not all. There are many that do not, but there are those, and enough for me to say something about it, that do not count you out, that brings you out, that actually closes it, the door to the subconscious mind, and bring you back to your alert, conscious state. And the reason you don't notice, because when you're meditating, it's no different than when you're alert and awake and just sitting there. The only difference is you've removed one of the most powerful senses you use to interpret the world around you, your eyes. This is the power of the mind. And this is what happens when someone else gets to send you into a state of hypersuggestibility, of overload. Now, what are some things you can do to address your anxiety? You can do some breathing, some 3-3-6 breathing, some deep breathing that activates the parasympathetic nervous system. I know it sounds ridiculous. People say it all the time. I think it's funny because I'll watch somebody do a thing and they'll be like, okay, breathe in, breathe out through your mouth. Oh, okay, good. I'm gonna do that a couple times, and then you're like, okay, but it don't activate the nervous system, right? The 3-3-6 will activate your parasympathetic nervous. This is a 4-4 breathing. 4-4-4 breathing works, but it's no but. It's beautiful. I choose to use the 3-3-6. And how the 3-3-6 would work is you would just simply take a breath in for 3 seconds, breathing in 1, 2, 3. Then you're gonna hold that breath for 3 seconds. 2, 3. Now you're going to exhale for 6 seconds. Now here's the kicker. As you exhale for 6 seconds, I want you to think the word relax. breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 2, 3. Relax. 5 and 6, and let it all out. And completely, and it activates the nervous system, the parasympathetic part of the nervous system, because your sympathetic nervous system is active and overloaded. So any little raw information that comes in, it gets amplified. It becomes more than what it even is. Well, in my experience, I find most people, after they have done something or said something, a lot of times they look back or ruminate and think that they could have done things differently. It's because they could have, if they would have breathed and taken a moment. And that way, just when you take that breath in that moment, then you have an opportunity to assess your situation. You can stop. You can calibrate. You can acknowledge what you feel. And then you can say the right thing. Or not say, depending on the situation. But it will give you the edge. Because in my experience, I find that most people's biggest issue is their response, not liking their response, or feeling they could have did a better response or given something different, right? And when you're able to take the time necessary to say what truly conveys what you mean, you get to experience the fruit of that through clarity, through boundary. So this is very pivotal. But let me see my chat here. There was no sound. Okay, great. And Peaches set up the restream for people to come in. That's wonderful. So, looking at the chat here, I don't see. See. All right. If anybody does have any questions about hypersuggestibility or anything that I'm speaking on, or some things that maybe that they think they would like to know about when it comes to changing their own homeostasis, please leave a message in the chat. I will see it. I will respond to it and answer it with the best clarity that I can offer. But also next week and the week after, we'll be back to having regular guests come to the show, due to the fact that a lot of people are doing a lot of moving and shaking and vacationing and doing things around. Because it is summertime, right? So some of the interviews I had set up had to be postponed and moved because of people's other prior engagements. But we have them back on air. Chef is supposed to be dropping in on us in a little bit. So if you're out there listening, Chef, we're waiting to hear from you. And I have a female hypnotherapist who will be coming, who specializes in performance anxiety, and she's going to come talk about hypnotherapy from a very unique perspective. So I can't wait to have her as a guest. That'll be on the 11th. We will also have, I believe, on the 28th, we'll have Brother Sudan from the School of Ancient Athletic Games of Kung Fu coming back in, talking about the power of mental wellness for men in Kung Fu and how you can use it in the modern era. And there's a couple more people coming up. I'm going to keep that a secret because There's some really interesting people that's going to come up and share some amazing things coming down the line. But that's what we do have coming up down the line. And yeah, just giving it a thought, like, yeah, there's some good stuff coming down the line. But as I was saying about hypersuggestibility, right? And another thing, when I think about that, what I would like to share with you is the fact that your mind doesn't store problems. Whatever problems you have, they're being pushed off into your body. And if you have gone to a doctor and seen specialists and seen various people and they're telling you, hey, we can't find anything wrong, then maybe it's not a medical thing. Maybe it's an emotional thing. Right? Because that's how we create our memories. You won't have a feeling. There isn't a feeling that you can have that is not attached to your body. All of your feelings are attached to your body. And the mind uses that. And if it can't solve something or deal with something, it pushes it off into the body. So we call these body syndromes, and they show up in different areas as they represent different aspects of us, or how the mind works with the body to store certain problems, right? It has a place for everything. And if you have a problem losing stomach area, or you can't lose weight, you got a water weight, or maybe you just, try to do these things, this is associated with the body syndrome for guilt and shame. And when we have some levels of guilt and shame that we don't process, our subconscious mind dumps it off into the stomach. So and anyone is welcome to do as much research as they want on this. I presented research on this before, and I can continue to give more research on it, but it's very easy for you to research yourself to see that what I'm telling you is an absolute truth. It is a known truth to how we work psychologically. So we have to learn to stop speaking illness over ourselves, even as a joke. We have to be more open to expressing ourselves, because when you stuff these things down, it's not just because you're not thinking about it, your body is responding to it. Right? When things that you have gone for have slipped through your hands and you can't seem to grasp them, and now every time you go out in life to move towards something, you notice your hands and your feet sweat, your heart starts pounding. That's a reaching syndrome. And when you begin the reason I'm telling you guys this is when you hear this, you recognize this, if it's something you're experiencing, guess what? You just started to work on it. 50% of solving a problem, 100%, is knowing where and how you got it. If you know where you got the problem, how you got the problem, now you can look at the correct way to change it. Now you can make the correct steps to make a difference. So that's one. Now, I was thinking to talk a little bit more about EMP, which is to make it into a more simple term, inferential. Oh no, that's not it. Introverted, extroverted. Introverted would be an emotional, extroverted would be a physical. And the difference between these two is one takes in information literally, while the other takes it in inferentially. Now, we're all either emo, we're all both. But depending on our upbringing, we lean as a dominant and subdominance to it. Some people are what you call somnambulists, so they could go either way. Right? But I think explaining the emo thing to people will, I think it'll make it better, bring more clarity to when we're looking at a certain dichotomy of people in the dating world. And we're calling them narcissists, or we're calling them sociopaths, or we're calling them mean and these other things. I think when you understand this a little bit better, you might understand that. And you'll be able to interact with them in a better way. See, the reason that a lot of people don't understand the emotional is because of physical, which if you don't like these type of people, you're more than likely a physical. A physical puts their body in front of them to protect themselves. So a physical is going to dress up really nice and flashy and be very huggy and jump out in front of the conversation if they feel uncomfortable. Right? They're going to do certain things because physicals use their body to protect their emotions and their inner world. Emos, they use their emotions. How? By withdrawing them. The withdrawing of their emotions gives them a lower ego sensation. They are more disassociated from their body than a physical person. Because it's how they protect themselves. They withdraw the emotion, don't give you emotion. And this is why they could come across kind of mean sometimes. Emos, we all have between the two, there's a hierarchy in how we establish value in our life. Was, family, relationships, finances, hobbies. Now, to a physical, number one priority is relationship. Right? Then family, right? Then the hobbies, and then the finances. Finance way down here. Now, for emo, it goes finances, hobbies, family, relationship. Fine, right? So finances is at the very top of their priority. So if you are in a relationship with someone who, when you're, now in the beginning, we all have the a desire to act out our best selves. So in the beginning of a relationship with an emo, they may seem to be very physical, right? Because they're insecure about the connection of the relationship. And insecurity builds sexual frustration and tension. It creates horniness. So the emo, in the beginning, may keep up with the physical. The physical has a high sexual sense drive. But once the two have left and begin to depart what we call the honeymoon phase, what happens is the emo goes back to being emo. Emos don't really care about sex. That's not the number one drive. Right? And now the physical feels rejected by the emo. right? And so when you look at it like that, you might have been in a relationship where the person seemed pretty cold. And here's the thing: it's not just that they're cold; it's actually a fact of that they have low egos, to say they disassociate from the body. So if you are emo and you're hearing this, or someone that thinks, "Wait a minute, I think I might be," that all sounds logical. And I don't really want to have, with my partner, and I'm even saying something. Well, try this. If that's the case, next time, take you a hot shower before, and while you're in that shower, just imagine you're a partner, and you will find that your drive and libido will rise because you're bringing sensation back into the body with warmth. Right? Now, the thing is, you have these relationships, everybody talk about, oh, this guy, he doesn't do jack crap. He just sits around. He want to hug on me all day. I'm trying to get this money, and he want to do. Well, he's a physical, right? And the downside on that part, if you're emo and you looking at this, is that this is the person that once they got in a relationship, and it's all about love, it's physical for them, right? Once they feel like, oh, you're mine, they stop trying. What's the point of getting dressed? I love you. I don't. You don't need to. And so they start, once they get it past the honeymoon phase and they start setting into their phases. You're gonna find that they could be very irritating and annoying. They don't have that same type of drive to accomplish certain things once they're in a relationship, because their whole things about relationships and having sex, and a lot of it with the person they want to be with, right? And once they can do that, everything else sort of falls into place for them with work or what have you, right? But the emo, no, they want success. They have things they're trying to accomplish. So this is why a lot of these relationships you hear today, and you're like, wow, this guy over here is a bum, right? But he wasn't a bum when he met her, right? He just slowly fell into his physical ways. He came in and he wanted to be his best self because of the threat of not being able to keep a relationship, which brings lots of sexual desire to a person, right? And security does that. And then once the security comes there and the honeymoon phase is over, then bam, it's into their behavior. But when you understand that, then you can do certain things. If you're a physical, bring your drive down by 10%. If you were the emo, realize that they don't want to, they need space. Become aware of that space that they need and put something in it and let them know that you care and that you love them, and then get out of their space, right? And what you're going to find is when you back off, that's going to stimulate insecurity in the emo, which is going to make and bring up their drive. So that was a lot, but I hope that was some information that can be utilized and thought about and even researched, so you can find that it's a very interesting way to approach a relationship, opposed to some of the dogmatic ways people talk about it today. Oh, she's just this, she's just that. No, we're all an amalgamation of a story we've created from experiences we've had when we were younger, right? And so we function by our suggestibility. So when you understand that your partner is an emo and you're a physical, you'll stop speaking so directly, and you'll start understanding that they don't just hear that. They hear an implication going beyond it. And when you begin to speak like that, then you can predict the patterns. And now you can be in a more healthy, loving, fun relationship where you're not driving yourself crazy because you don't understand the cycles of this person. Oh, they just don't like. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. You gotta always reinvigorate your honeymoon phase. You can't wait to do that. When it starts to die out, you must go back. And how do you do that? By you re-stimulate it by doing things you did again that you did during your honeymoon. If you do these things, it will always stay engaging and fresh, and you'll feel that feeling you felt, But if you don't, then you're going to realize, I don't like this person. they're this, they're that. Meanwhile, they was that when you met them, because they are your opposite. We are attracted to our opposites. This is why physicals get with emos. This is why emos get with physicals, and this is how it works. Opposites attract. Yeah. So I'm going to just go ahead and see if we got anybody in the chat. If we got any questions out there, please, I'm open for them. I love to hear them. Peach, if you got any questions, please feel free to ask. If not, that's cool. We're going to do another 15 minutes. If we don't, the lines are open if you want to come up and have a conversation about any of this or anything in particular you'd like to know or share, right, when it comes to your experiences with maybe hypersuggestibility. Maybe now that you understand what it is, maybe you would like to come and share an experience of feeling that sense of being overwhelmed by the world around you. Well, what usually, I was asked that what happens if two emos get together? The same thing that happens if two physicals get together. It usually doesn't turn out well. We like to think we would love to date ourselves, but it's not true. It would be disastrous. It is our opposites that allow us to create a balance and fill in the things that we are lacking. Oh, he needs the link? Okay. Dude, it's in his messages, but I'm gonna find it right now. Send it to him. Yeah, so like I said, if you like to come up and share, I'd love to have you. If you have any questions, please post them and I'll answer. Or you can come up and I'll answer them for you if that's what you would like. Because I'm here to help. I want to be of service to everybody that comes in. It's very important to me that we get this information out here and we share this and make people aware that you have the ability to do a lot with your mind, but it's being hijacked by individuals that has this access to this information and they're using it to make themselves rich, But I can't say that that's an evil thing. All I know is that I now have that information. I understand how to utilize it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it to help people, right? And show them the way to do some of these things that it's not going to take them a lifetime of practice to experience, because the mind has something called neuroplasticity. And I don't know if many people know what that is, but I'm going to share that with you. Neuroplasticity is your ability to learn. And learning means forming new neurons. And every time you learn something new, you instantly develop 12,000 new neurons. And they just continue to expound. If you do nothing with that information, then those will burn out. C'est la vie. But you have the ability to learn things instantly or over the course of time. Not everything has to be over the course of time, right? Meaning extended amount of time. Some things can actually be absorbed relatively quickly, and once the mind gets an understanding and connects it to the kinesthetic aspect of our body, bam, we got it. So that's what I want to do, is really powerfully share that kind of stuff out there, give you the opportunity to see what that feels like, and to answer any of your questions that you may have about some of the stuff that I'm talking about. Or maybe you've been practicing and doing your own work in healing, and maybe you had some questions about some of the stuff you're doing, or maybe you want to share this with the community. Either way, the lines are open for you to come up and join and be involved. This is just a coming back show to let everybody know we're back. Next week we have like two guests that are coming that are going to provide some wonderful information, some wonderful insight. So that's where it's at. Peach, I went ahead and sent that out to Seth to see so he could join. I sent it to his, if he's watching, I sent it to your email and I sent it to your phone. So you should have it. And yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I hope the EMP stuff sort of helped and made you look at things a little bit differently when it comes to our suggestibility and how we interact in relationships.
Hey now, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
Coming in, popping on in, trying to check on in. How things going today?
They're going magnanimously well.
Good. What did I didn't mean to interrupt you. Did I interrupt you?
No. You didn't interrupt
Okay.
me.
All right, there it goes. All right.
Did
So
you
what's
catch
happening,
me?
man?
Did you catch
Hmm?
what we were talking about?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. Well, I was talking about hypersuggestibility and how
Okay.
a lot of people are under it and what hypersuggestibility is,
Mhm.
you know? And would you like to share some of that?
No,
And then,
I'll let you. I'll jump on in. You go ahead and pick up and on this time.
oh,
So
no,
you
I
go ahead
did
and
that
pick.
already. I've been doing that for a minute now. I did it. I'm
Got
letting you
you.
know where we at. so,
Okay.
so um, I was talking about the EMP models, talking about it and how it works in relationships. If you know,
Well, explaining that to certain people, they have a greater grasp of why they can or cannot get along with certain folks. I know every time someone talks about someone they don't get along with, and then I mention uh, the EMP test and what their characteristics may be, then they have a whole different understanding of why they could or could not get along with who they're beefing with at that time. And then, like, if they're in a relationship with that person, and how the relationship itself breaks down into different categories. How someone will always be the physical, and someone always will be the emo um, in the dynamic of the relationship. It's uh, it's pretty amazing when you think about it, and you like say, "Huh, yeah, that makes sense." When you simplify it, when you make it as simple as just taking the trash out, like literally, how that can go so many different ways. You know, that's when it becomes the simplest form, and that's what seems like some people understand it. And I guess I'll mention it. Are you the kind of person when someone says take the trash out, do you just take all of the trashes out in the house, or are you the person when someone asks to take the trash out, do you then ask, which trash do you want me to take out, or do you want me to take out all the trashes, and or would you like me to take them outside or somewhere else? So it goes into uh, a lot of different questionings and a lot of different ways of understanding things. So
mm,
when you can kind of simplify it to people, then they have a greater grasp of the kind of personality that they may be.
hmm hmm Peach was asking if the physical so the physical is the hypersexual. Yes,
Uh, hmm.
yes, and I think she's asking that for a very particular reason. But I'll let her get to her reason for asking. It'd be
Okay.
better if she just
Uh,
joined
and why are you asking that, Peach?
because it has something to do with her.
Of course it does. That's why, that's why I'm asking. Uh-oh. That's why I'm asking.
I was waiting to see what she said.
No comment, eh?
She laughed. She said, "Just curious."
Oh no, where does the curiosity come from?
That's another great question to ask.
Where does the curiosity come from?
Well,
There we go.
and she's like, okay, here's the thing. The reason that is because what is the deal? The emo has a low ego sensation. The emo protects themselves with their emotion by withdrawing them, which creates a disassociation from the body. So a lot of times when you get into hardcore emo, sex is not even comfortable for them if the body hasn't been stimulated and warmed up.
Do you know that personally?
What?
I said, do you know that
No.
personally?
We're not talking about this personally, bro. We're talking about this on the level of
I understand that, but I was curious because you spoke
I'm
as
not
if
gonna
you
answer. Why
experienced
you
that
going
personally.
huh?
You spoke as if you experienced that personally. So I was
No, I
curious to
didn't.
know,
I
have you
spoke as
experienced
if
that
I was
personally?
wait, time out. I spoke as if I was confident about what I was saying, sir. I don't know what you did.
uh okay.
I got you.
So Peach, why did you ask that question?
Oh, about the emos. If I mean the physicals, are they hypersexual?
Hmm.
Because I was just curious. Because the word, just the wording of it, physical and emo, and I'm listening, and what you just said sounds painful. The emo can't have sex without sexual. That just sounds. That sounds painful. But
I
I'm
didn't
just
say they
curious.
can't without. I didn't say that. You are obviously inferring what you think what I said means. That's not what I was saying that they can't. They never get horny or don't want to have. That wasn't the what I'm saying. What makes an emo, which I also said can be called an introvert, and a physical can be an extrovert, right? One uses their body to protect themselves, so their emotions are all out in the front. The other, which makes it so funny to me, pulls their emotions back to protect themselves. Emos are less emotional than physicals. And because of that, it has an effect on the body. The body's temperature stays lower, and this is just science. Now, if you're talking about your own personal self, based on the general understanding of this, then I would have to go and do a. We'd have to ask more questions about your sex life. You understand what I'm saying? Because emos can masquerade as physicals can masquerade as emos, right, Chef?
Yes. Yep.
So it's not a one size fit all that I'm saying. I'm giving you a broad understanding of the two groups. And you're going to find these basic things in all of the people within this, but at what varying degree will always be individualized. Because it's going to be based on their life, their upbringing, their experiences, where they are in life right now, what they do, their friend circle, their relationships, the type of food they eat, all of that.
Okay, and the person that's both is called what?
A somnambulist, but there is no one who is both when it comes to relationships.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? When relationships, you either emotional or you physical. When we talking about how you taking information in, you see what I'm saying? You could either be a physical or emo, or you could be somebody who could take in both suggestions, but you won't be that in a relationship. You
Yeah.
see
You'll
what I'm
Okay.
be
saying?
in the
You're gonna
relationship. You'll
be
be one or the other. Yeah.
Mm.
It's weird like that, but that's kind of that's true.
and
So
even
the
let's
physical is the one that is more outwardly emotional, and the emo just holds everything tight. It's
Well,
like dragging shit out of them. Excuse me.
not necessarily dragging shit out of them. They could use it in a way where, why are you talking to me like that? Why you seem so cold?
The physical is more literate.
The physical is going to be the one saying, why are you acting like that? What's your problem? Why are you acting? You know, it's going to be more vocal. Oh, why are you being like this? Why you saying that? It ain't. What's your problem? You need to calm yourself down. We can't have a conversation with you behaving like this. That's all avoidance. How's that for an example? You like that, Seth?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was great. Great example.
Okay, so the physical is the one that's trying to. Okay, all
Oh, go
right, I
ahead.
get it. I get it. The physical one is more vocal. The emo is less vocal, and vocal is like, okay, let's. It sounds like the emo is more level headed to me. I
That's not
don't
necessarily
know.
true, though.
It's not to say that they
That's not
more. You
necessarily
taking
true.
it down to like one argues more than the other. It's not, this is not what I'm simplifying it down to, though. Right? Go ahead, Seth. I think we're about to say the same thing.
Yeah, that's not necessarily true. Because emos are more how shall they think a little more deep, not it is not same, just two different understandings. Whereas the emo, because they don't feel as trusting as if someone else were to be in control. Most of the time, the emos are typically the smarter of the two, not intellectually. The emo is going to think more deeply and in a variety of different thoughts. Versus if you tell someone a physical something, which they're gonna take everything literal. You told me to go do this, I went to go do that. You didn't tell me to go do nothing else.
You
But the
didn't tell
emo
me
might be
you
like,
loved me.
well,
You didn't tell me you
yeah,
loved me. Why won't you? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. Okay.
you know, it's really just one person. I would probably say trusting themselves more than they trust anyone else. And for them to move on that, they have to get a little bit more
The
information
physical is going to be
to feel
concerned
more.
what the friends think about them, what the how the world is viewing them. You see what I'm saying? The physical, the emotional is going to have a very different outlook, which is going to be more of a competitive one.
Mm. All right. I'm trying to determine which one am I in a relationship.
Well, it depends on, it really depends.
On the person that you're with.
No, I would say we'd have to probably hear both of you together
No, no, I don't mean.
because you can't necessarily
Well,
determine what you
yeah,
are
we can.
by
You can
yourself, can
just
you?
take the EMP test, the EMP relationship sex.
Oh, I mean the relationship test. Yeah, you could do
I
that,
sent that to you before. I'll
but
send it again, Peach. I sent you it a while back, but I think it was a different thing where you had different information.
I think she did the EMP. She probably didn't do the
Yes,
relationship
she
one.
did. I sent her both of them.
Oh, she did. Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you fill out the second one?
I took one of them. I know
See, she
I'm
didn't do that. She
Oh.
did the. See, she got it though. Now, whenever you want to find out what you are, just go back in there. I sent you what you need,
Fill
and
it
just
out.
answer the questions. You can't pass or fail. Be honest about it, because it's not good. You cannot pass or fail.
But I guarantee you, Peach, you will definitely once you figure out like where you are within the relationship. Typically, if you can just pull back 10 to 12% of what you are, and because you know now this is how you operate, and also that your mate may operate the exact opposite way, so that 10 to 12% is you compensating for what they don't know, right? Because they just going to do things regular, but you have inside information on how the dynamic of your relationship is. And the fact that you have inside information, you almost are responsible for making your correction within that relationship.
Oh, okay. You know what? Just based off of what I hear, I could probably just tell you that
I
I'm an
know you were
emo
emo.
in the relationship.
I
So
already know that.
Do you run the relationship,
I
Peach?
listen. I
Honest,
don't try to
honestly,
run a relationship. No, I run me. I can't run
that's
other
not that.
people.
Nah. Do you run the relationship? You know whether you do or
She
not.
No,
just gave
Do
you
you
a lot of
dictate the way the relationship
information in
moves?
that answer, bro. She just gave you massive information. I mean, you know, she
no,
just
I
told you.
don't run my relationships. I try to control me. I can't control other people. I control
Okay,
how
and by
I
you controlling
function.
you, do men follow you? Do men follow, or men or women follow you when you control you?
It's either they stick around or they out.
Okay, so yes, you are emo. So they follow your trend or they're out. There we go. That you
No,
just said
no,
what you
that's
are.
not what I said. It's either we meet. It's like this. Either they want to try to work it out, or they leave,
Hmm,
or they spend a long time being frustrated with me
hmm, hmm.
because they're trying to get
But-
me to move in a certain way, and I'm like, no, this is where I
and that's
am. This
impossible.
is where
Yeah.
you are. We can go in the middle, or
Hmm.
I'm staying over here.
Yeah, but there isn't necessarily a middle. There really is. You take 10% off to allow that person to kind of be who they are, and since you understand how they're going to operate, then you can make the adjustments, and you won't get so disappointed and or upset because you've already analyzed the situation ahead of time. Oh, this is that person's characteristic. I know that I am complete opposite. So instead of having this disagreement that go wrong, I know how to prevent it, and I know how to allow it to just be a disagreement or move in the right direction.
Yeah, but that don't make sense to me
I get it.
because what if
Your
no,
way.
no, no, no. What if the person the discussion just is a discussion that's just not beneficial to either one of us what the other party's saying. So I'm just like, listen, let's have a real discussion. And maybe you'll understand that that just makes absolutely no sense. And we need to throw this off the table and try to work together to get to a real solution. That's how my mind
Mhm.
works.
Well, sometimes this is what I think he's trying to explain to you is that, okay, you have a subdominance, which is your physical side, right? You're predominantly emo. That's the side that's dominant, right? But you have a subdominance, right? And you can bring your subdominance up to balance out your dominant side.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? And what he's saying is if you understand you with the physical male, and there's certain things that are happening, if you understand the physical male, then you'll know why they're doing what they're doing. You'll know why they do what they do,
Yes.
and you'll be able to predict what they're going to do, which means inevitably you'll be able to coach them into what you want them to do.
Well, that's what's going on
Exactly.
anyway.
Yeah, but if you
Well,
noticed it sooner, it would probably be
No,
a
but I
lot faster.
always notice what people in the relationships that I'm in, I always understand how they think and I see where they're going.
Hmm.
okay, I don't understand what that means. That sounds very like, what? Are you a genie? Do you have the mind taker ability?
Basically, once you sit down and get to know a person, you kind of figure out who they are and how they think.
Well, it depends. When we sit down to get to know a person, where are we sitting down to get to know them from? From where they are or from where we are?
Both. I
Can't
have an
do both.
understanding. I understand it from my perspective, and then I put myself in their shoes and I see it how they get it from their background. Sort of like with me, like a dual type thing going on. So I'll understand where they're coming from. That
Right. But
doesn't
you
mean
don't
it's
have
right.
any problem in your relationships. That's what you're saying. You understand what you're saying, right?
No, I do have issues sometimes in a relationship, but it don't be as loud and crazy as most because again, I do try to understand the person that I'm dealing with and their perspective, and I even give them space to allow them to share who they are and what they're going to do. But in my head, I'm like, okay, I knew they was going to say that. Da, 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 I get it.
Okay, I can respect that. What we're talking about is a model and following it from the model. What you're talking about is experiences repeating themselves after you've studied someone. I'm talking about being able to identify when someone is doing this because they're a physical and what they may need from you to help that relationship feel better. And then what you can do on your end, but we're not there yet. I don't know how we got here. I'm blaming this all on Shar. I'm telling you that right now because I didn't. We didn't ask no real questions to get into this. We're just explaining it. You're using yourself as an example, responding to it, but we haven't really interviewed you to know your relationship. So
Mhm.
you get to like just throw something out there, but we didn't know that was coming because we never asked you any questions about your relationship. You see what I'm saying? We're responding to
Mhm.
emo,
Right. And
right?
physical, I get it.
Right, and
So
you
basically,
are
I got what
technically
y'all
emo.
said.
Yeah, I'm saying you aren't emo. We know this. Me and you have worked together. I know this, and so like you and you know what I'm saying is some of these we've already. I'm not going there. We've already had some experiences when I explained this to you that showed you these things already, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I think I appreciate you playing the devil advocate
Mhm.
a little bit, so we could go into a little deeper
Yeah,
for other people
a little bit.
that don't know what you know. So I think that was amazing because you really made us go into a deeper dive about it.
Cool. However, I can help.
Yeah, you
But I
did this.
do understand that part when you said, I mean,
But
I
do you
don't
actually
like it.
understand it though?
Yes, I understand it, but I don't like it. Yeah, I do understand it. Basically, you're saying, bring up your yeah, I don't like it, but I understand it. Basically, what you're saying is dial down the emo, bring up the physical in you, and allow them space so you can understand them.
No, just by
Yes.
10%.
And
So
then
that,
and then everything would be faster.
not that just so you can understand them, so you can predict them. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
You
Yes, it
may
does.
you
But
may never
yeah,
understand them. You may never understand
Think
them.
about this. If I could predict what you're going to do, what could I do about what you're going to do? A lot.
I could decide what I'm going to do, which is normally what I do anyway.
Or I
But
could say the right things to you to guide you the way I want you to go.
yeah, which is manipulation. But
Well, you know, here's the thing. It's not it's not it's not manipulation. You know what it actually is learning how to communicate with people in a way that is effective and that you get what you want, they get what they want, and in a relationship, and everybody gets to be happy. We have to
well,
learn how to communicate.
I
I
would
can
say it's
agree to
identifiers
disagree.
and being
It
able to
sounds like
react
the other
accordingly.
party would be happy.
I don't know why it sounds like manipulation to you, but I do understand why, though.
Um, actually, Peach, you would be happier. Honestly, you would probably you would have less headache. You wouldn't have to deal with the explanation. You just wouldn't have to, or you would explain, so you
Uh
wouldn't have to
huh.
repeat yourself.
Uh huh. Yeah, that's surface level. But then after that, I guess the emo and me would click in and be like, well, why do I got to do all that with you?
Well, how's it all that? That goes all the way to a point where it's like one day I walk in the room and be like, well, why do I even got to open my mouth to talk to get anything I want?
No, I should be able to talk and have a reasonable conversation without me having to go through all these extra steps.
I don't see how it is extra steps in a relationship. How's it extra steps by understanding
It,
how a
it
person?
is because it's some people that I can actually talk to where I don't have to
That's fine.
do all of
Do
those
you
extra
have to
steps.
date everybody you can actually talk to? As a matter of fact, one of the worst things people do in a relationship is they want to do everything with their partner. It's ridiculous. Nobody's gonna make it like that.
No,
You have to have friends. You have to have a relationship with someone that's opposite to you, that y'all can get into something different and unique with each other, and have a world with your friends where you can go up and do what you always love to do and the things you have with your friends. You start incorporating people into things that it's a disaster. You don't believe me? Go look at social media and all the relationships. It's a disaster.
I don't know. Anybody else watching, y'all could jump in, but I prefer a partner that I can communicate with, and I ain't got to be doing all this extra.
I don't
Now,
know what
sure,
you
we'll
mean by
run into
extra
some
though.
stuff.
This is very inferential. You're saying extra. Extra means more. More than what?
More than me just having a simple conversation. I don't
But
want to
why
do all
couldn't
that
that
thought
conversation
process
be simple?
because I got to sit there and dial myself down
Wait,
for me to relate to you and then have this conversation and you feel better while meanwhile I'm sitting there like what the
well, obviously, what conversation are we talking about?
any conversation anytime I gotta
Well,
dial myself down I is for me it's like okay in the world that I live in and the people that I deal with
mhm.
I mostly deal with people I can walk up to have the conversation they got it and then we have a conversation together and we decide this. It's not me
What?
having to dial down nothing. We come there together.
Okay, well, you keep saying dial down nothing. Like, what are we saying dial down? What are you interpreting that as?
Well, what you basically said is I'm an emo, right? I gotta bring that down by 10% and allow the physical aspect of me to turn up, to come up a
No, I
little.
said, when did we say this? If you're in a relationship where it's not working with the physical,
Yeah, we gotta get rid of that
all right.
physical.
But you're the type of person that's going to bring your relationship.
Yeah, we
So
gotta
you
get
just,
rid of that one.
I'm just
The
saying,
physical gotta bring it up.
look, we're trying to give people help here, not prove that you have the ultimate techniques, and because not everybody is you. Not everybody can go out here and be the way you're
Damn,
saying
Pete,
you
you
are.
cutthroat, boy. You don't give nobody no chances, huh?
That seems a little
Damn.
bizarre to me. That and at no point, even in a business relationship, do you ever feel you have to match the energy of the room. Like what? Never.
Yeah, I
And you
will
never
match the
have to go
energy
through the process. Thank you. So you
depending
never
on the
have to.
room.
Right, but you do it though, right? It happens.
Yeah,
Right.
depending on the room.
But it happens.
Yeah, if I'm coming into your room, of course I gotta match your energy.
Okay, but then
But
it
if I'm
happens.
in my room, come on and match my energy. But in my
Right.
relationship,
But we weren't talking about your particular relationship in particular anyway, because quite frankly, that's not the case for you.
What's
okay,
the
so
case?
All right?
generalized,
No, she know the
generalized
case
relationship.
because then we have to say, go ahead and sign up for Beyond the Mind hypnotherapy. This can happen to you too. That's the reality of
Why are
that.
you laughing, Shep? Because I'm willing to just toss everything out and then
She
call
said,
to live and be like, to live, listen.
she said baby
Yep.
and bath water.
Baby bathwater, huh?
Throw all of it out.
So baby bathwater, huh?
No, but my
Interesting.
point is that I understand what she's saying. I understand what she's saying, Peach. But my point is that you don't necessarily have to do that. You're not in a situation. But if you were, and you say, I really want to make this work, and you want to look at what you can do on your end, then that's what you could do. You're not someone that needs that, but you are only one of hundreds of millions of emos that exist here.
I mean, if the person has all the other qualities that you wanted, all the other things that you needed in a relationship, and the one thing that it was just some things you just did not understand, and that was the difference of them being physical and you being emo. You are willing to just get rid of that person that they have every single thing that you want,
It
whereas you
depends
can
on
make
what
an
that thing
adjustment.
is. Yeah, it depends on what that thing is. Because I'm sorry, that part of me it'll keep flashing like there it
Listen,
goes. There it goes again. There it goes. We can't do this.
Okay.
No, I understand. Like, no, I completely get it. You know what I mean? I completely get it. Like, one part of the mind says, "Oh, I'm not gonna," but that's the mind. When someone tries to tell you something, the mind goes, "You can't tell me that. I have an experience where that's not true." Right? So I totally can understand that. At the same time, I do know that you are an emo peach.
That's not right.
No, it's great.
I
Emo's
don't want
awesome.
to be an emo. I want to be the one where I'm both because I could see
A
myself in
Funambulist?
both.
No,
Yes.
but a somnambulist has nothing to do with being in a relationship. That's just how you
Yeah, I get
genuinely take
that.
in information. You know, and most black people are somnambulists. You know, because America.
Yeah. All right. In relationships, I'm an emo. But just for the sake of the show, you guys don't be me because I'm willing to walk through the trenches to get to who I want to be with. Be you, and if you love that person, do what they say.
I have
Down,
walked through the
down.
Wow!
trenches.
Whoa! Wait a minute.
Listen, Peach, I have walked through the trenches and I've been divorced twice. So I don't know if I'm willing to walk through the trenches anymore.
Well, see, for me, walking through the trenches is before I get to, because I'm you. I've been divorced twice.
Okay.
Before I was trying to dial down to make it work. And
Hmm.
so now I'm like, nope, I know how this is ending for me. Eventually,
Hmm.
I'm going to just go. So I'm just going in
Hmm.
the beginning. I'm just checking myself out. But for everybody else that love the person that you love and you want to make it work, I think these are excellent tactics. Me, I'm just jumping right off the ship in the beginning.
I know, cause you're emo.
Well, listen, I'm not an emo, and I'm kind of right there with her right now. I don't know if that's just where we're both at this point, but I
You know,
understand where she is.
you what they call the 40% physical. You know. But I wouldn't doubt that you were emo either, man. Y'all both got that kind of, I don't know.
Hmm. You
Oh
act
my
like that's
goodness.
a bad thing. You act like you kind of being
Whoa, hey, buddy,
derogatory.
I'm on physical in the room.
Yeah, being derogatory around here. What's wrong with you?
See, there it
It's your
is.
words, using them words.
Listen to
I
you.
find this is very interesting. I hope people enjoy. I see y'all looking at us, so y'all must enjoy this. Yeah, but I'm an emo and sign me up for the t-shirt, the badge, or whatever it is.
But I can
Man.
tell you this. I can tell you this, and honest. Let me get close to the mic. I can honestly tell you this. The more I have learned about my personal characteristic and other people's characteristics, the better my relationships have gotten with everyone. Because I know who I'm dealing with and I know how to deal with them. And really, it all my relationships since I have understood this and learned this, all my relationships have gotten better, or I've eliminated certain people out of my life. So, I mean, it literally has been such a beautiful tool at this point in my life and career. So I'm well. I appreciate the knowledge myself. I don't know about
Yeah, I
you,
do
Talia,
too.
but no.
You emo sure know how to grandstand.
I'm a somnambulist, so you can say what you want to say. Say what you want to say.
I think I am too.
What you said? You were what? You were what?
You heard what I said.
You
I'm
say you
not
were
gonna repeat myself
somnambulist?
to you.
Did you
I'm
say
not gonna
that?
repeat myself. Yes, I
Oh,
did
I
you're
say
not
that.
kind
gonna
of,
repeat yourself to me. And what's the me for?
I think outside of the relationship piece, I am whatever that word is, that long word. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
that.
you are
Somnambulist.
somnambulist. I can
Somnambulist.
tell you. I can
Yeah.
give you some examples of you being one.
But yeah, that emo thing, the physical one, just I mean, it sounds. I was about to say it sounds cute. I like the attributes of the physical. But yeah, it's just a little bit too
Physical
dramatic
males are
for
the
me.
guys you call bums who sit at home and do nothing all day.
The physicals, it's like interesting.
That's
They're
a fact.
interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm. You know the guy when you first met him, he was amazing. He was doing his thing. You got with him. A couple months went by. All of a sudden, he lost his job. He's sitting at home. He don't do nothing. He's like, "What is happening?
That's the
This
physical.
this didn't even start this way." And he like, "But we together. I love you. Don't worry. I'm gonna get it together. Come here. Let's have sex." And he's like, "What? Have sex? Are you crazy? The can't say when bills are due."
that's the emo in you.
That's the physical male. I'm just saying.
But the emo in her said bills are due. Well, that had nothing to do with nothing.
But
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
this
this
been
is
great.
interesting.
I don't see nobody jumping on. Listen, I know you people are watching, man. I'm gonna give y'all one more week to get up here. Get up here and say something.
Maybe they're confused. I mean, to me, like you said, Shep, you said it best. You want to understand the world, understand the inner world first. I
Mhm.
know it's scary, but take the trip. You have better life experiences that way. I really wholeheartedly believe that I have better experiences just because I know who I am and I know what I want. And I couldn't even imagine walking through the world not understanding me and knowing what I need and want.
Hmm.
I don't like
You're
taking
fortunate.
unnecessary risks with myself, like wasting time. And I always say it like shit, this age that I'm in, I don't know how much time I got left. I'm not wasting it doing anything.
I
Know
understand that.
thyself.
I understand that wholly and completely.
There you have it, people. The truth from Peach.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I think
Go ahead.
people are afraid.
You think they're afraid of what?
Of
I think most people are afraid to going inside of themselves and learning who they are.
You think
I
that's
mean,
what
you'll
it
go through the dark spaces with other people into their darkness, but you got your own darkness that you got to deal
yeah.
with that's more intense.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people based on just the environment alone, just from the loss of jobs, the loss of careers, and just the way the world is going. A lot of people are having to do that right now. Are having to actually look at themselves and figure out where the hell they are and what's important and what's not important. Um, I mean, I can honestly tell you at no point in my life do I ever remember this many people losing jobs at one time, all at the same time. I don't ever remember it being like this. And maybe if we're all the same age, but I don't know if I'm missing some some years, but I don't ever remember it being like this. So I do know there are people actually searching and looking and trying to figure out, what is going on with themselves and could they have done it differently or what can they do now differently. So I think it's the era that we're in is producing a lot of that.
Mm, mm.
I mean, I just saw a statistic that said home sales are worse than the depression right now. It is at the worst home sales that they can account on record right now. I was like, oh my God, like that is horrible. Like the worst ever recorded in home sales currently is now.
Mm.
That is sad state of finances for American people because most of our wealth is occurred through marriage or home purchasing. And if no one's buying homes, then no one's becoming wealthier because the value of the homes are dropping. And
Oh, people are becoming wealthier.
old people, yes, the wealthy are becoming wealthier, but the middle class is being decimated. There is no real middle class anymore.
Yeah, by a
So
few middle class that's buying up everything. You will own nothing and be happy.
But no one's happy because you can't be happy when you don't know yourself. And I mean, you can, but it's very difficult for people to lose their careers and try to figure out and don't know themselves and try to figure this out and then try to remain happy. It's very difficult. Very difficult.
Should the self be attached to all of that, or should the self
How can you
think a
detach
little
self?
different?
How can self detach from all of that?
I don't know, because when I think about me and going inside myself, I don't think about all the things that I own. It's just more or less me getting to know myself. So if I lose it all, I'm good because I know me
Hmm.
and I
Okay.
know how to operate and navigate to get to whatever it is that I want to have. I just never looked at myself based on my career or my home or any of that. It just didn't give me value.
But
It's always me.
but a lot of people, that's all they have. They've never even had the opportunity or they're not even known to even look within
When
themselves.
you say going in and getting to know myself, what do you mean? Define that.
Oh, I just spend lots of time with me,
What does that
discovering what
mean?
I like and don't like, discovering what I want, discovering just myself in general. I spend a lot of time with myself. I don't know. Forgive me, everybody. It probably sounds weird, but yes, I enjoy being with me.
Nothing wrong with that. I
There's
understand
nothing wrong with
exactly
that.
where you're at.
There's nothing wrong
I
with
don't.
that.
I prefer not to go. I mean, to be honest with you, when people, hey, can we go out somewhere? I'd rather meet them there because I want to leave when I want to leave, and I want to stay as late as I want to stay, and
That's me
I
too.
want anyone else influencing anything that I do. So I completely understand.
I
Yeah,
go to
but I love
Kroger.
this. Yeah, I love this emo and physical thing. I find it interesting. I hope people could benefit from the information. I
I
really
think they
do.
will, especially if they do any research into it, or and hear what we're saying. I'm sure some of the examples I gave was clear enough too. And some people are probably going, "Oh, how do you know about
I have a
my
question for you,
situation?"
Talia. Um, are there more single emos or single physical? Do you know? Is there any statistic that
No, not that I
you
know
have?
of. Any
Hmm.
physicals are single versus emos. I don't know. You
I'd be
know.
curious to know that.
Mm,
I would probably believe that there would probably be more single emos because more physicals need that physical touch. They need it, you know. Where emo it can probably exist on a conversation more so versus that touch. Hmm,
yeah, I could
interesting.
believe that. This is why you have certain. They try to say that, oh, when women have sex with men, they get attached. But then you have some women that don't get attached, right?
Yeah, that's kind of weird. If
It's
anyone
not.
still believes that, it's just different because that
Oh,
is not the case.
what?
That all women get attached to men after.
Oh, yeah, right. That's not true at all.
Well,
You
That
do have
is
women that,
not.
they're physicals. They have high physicals. High,
that's
like I
not the
said,
case. That's not the case. You have working.
high ego sensations. Yeah, but that don't mean you have to be physical for that. Emos.
So with the working gal, would she be well, I'm asking would that be uh, the working gal? Would there be more emos? Physical act, that's just what they do to make money. And they just kind of separate the two on an analytical standpoint.
I would say probably in my mind. Now, if you ask me to go there, I would say that in that world you would find the emos would probably be escorts because the ones you're talking about require a pimp, which means they feel they need some sort of physical protection. They rely on them. They give them the money,
Different. Yep.
let them pay for
Yep.
things. If you go deal with escorts, work they will work with a guy, but they're breaking him off. He's an employee of
Hmm.
hers. He works for her.
He's just making sure she gets there safely and gets home safely. That's really what they're
She
doing.
gonna break him
Escort
off. She
to where
worked for. She only
they're
gonna give
going.
him
Yeah.
everything. They have an arrangement. Hey, I gotta do this job tonight. I'm gonna give you 200 to hold me down. Okay, no problem. Be there.
No.
So like subcontracting.
Right. So
It's
that
funny
would be
that you
more
said
emo.
that.
But if you looking at like these girls that's letting these dudes beat them
Yeah.
over their head, that ain't no emo. Physical.
That's funny because I'm a
Yeah, that's because
contract.
of physical. Gotcha.
That's
But
fine.
it's just interesting. This
What you
that
said?
whole makeup.
No, I
Were you
wasn't.
a
No. Uh-uh. No, I wasn't.
hello?
Oh man,
Oh,
his
okay.
thing is going in and out.
Did you work during COVID? Did you work during COVID
I
or no?
worked during
Oh,
COVID,
during
but I
COVID.
always like to do my nursing subcontract because again, it goes back to I guess the control thing. I like to control everything about me.
Hmm.
So I guess
Hmm.
that that's that emo, I guess.
Now, have you
Yes.
just I'm just speaking on nursing. Have you gotten caught up in the course of nursing right now? How there's some
No.
hospitals that now have they hire a certain service and I guess to work for these hospitals
No, I would never work for anything where I have a
you pay the more you can work, or the least they
no,
pay you
I
the
would
more you can
never
work
get
like that.
caught up in anything that binds my time down where I can't control. I don't like set schedules unless I set them, if that makes sense. So with subcontracting agency work, I
Gotcha.
decide.
Mhm. Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Gotcha. Now, do you do hospitals or you just do kind of whatever you decide to do?
do not want to work hospitals. If it comes through the agency and I could decide that I want to work this day at this time, then I may do it. But again, it goes back to me controlling
Gotcha.
me.
Mm.
So I guess I am a high emo.
You want
Trying
to
to
feel
pull
what
a
you
line
want,
here.
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, it looked like we not
But
having nobody.
he determined that long time ago.
What? The emo thing?
I don't know. His
I,
connection is not doing too well
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
falling off, sir.
mean, if no
It
one
isn't.
comes
It's
up, I think,
I,
benefit
oh,
of listening is good too. People love to listen. Yeah, you going in and out.
What was you saying, Peach?
I said if no one wants to come up, I think, I see them watching. So it's great that they're receiving the information. It is a benefit to listening.
It really is, and it's just a matter of time. Don't worry, we just can keep it going until you do come up. Eventually, you will. That's what I believe. But yeah, he's on a fritz right now, and that was pretty much our show for tonight. And I'm about ready to shut it down for now until we get back next week with these amazing guests. And you there, Peach?
Yep, I'm about to take myself off so y'all can close out.
All right. First of all, let's thank Peach for coming in and sharing and always dropping such a direction that makes us always have to dig into our tools, speak clearly, use our wisdom and discernment. So thank you, Peach. And I want to thank you for joining the show tonight. We'll be back next week with two special guests that's going to talk about hypnotherapy and some internal martial arts. So I want you all to have an amazing weekend. Enjoy yourself and keep your eyes open for miracles because they're all around you if you just let yourself see them. And until next time, we'll see you next week.
You see, there's been a big misconception in the world of hypnosis. Hypnosis is a natural state. It's something we go in and out of all the time. But we can use that state to affect our own behaviors. So this is a do with. I'm going to work with your unconscious mind. I'm going to work with this 88. You're going to work with the 12, right? Because together, when we work together, we can bring 100% of the mind together. That's the power of your own mind.